Welcome outside to our jet deck. We recently recognized World Stroke Day, which is raising awareness for this potentially deadly condition. We have Dr. Harrison Pearl with Mobile Infirmary here to share some tips and some warning signs. Dr. Pearl, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So it is really important to have these conversations because the awareness of strokes could potentially be life-saving. Talk to us a little bit about just how important it is to recognize these signs and symptoms.
Sure. I mean, the world of stroke is advancing so rapidly right now. The treatments that are available to stroke patients, it really is a revolution in front of our eyes, some things that we never thought were possible. But as we have these new treatments available, the rate limiting step in offering these to patients will always be how fast they can get to the hospital after the onset of their symptoms. So we want to continue to raise public awareness with things like National or World Stroke Day so that people can learn to recognize the symptoms of a stroke, call an ambulance, and get to the hospital as fast as possible.
Absolutely critical to recognize those symptoms. So take a look at your screen right now. We have Be Fast, urging, of course, the promptness of your reaction. Tell me a little bit about this Be Fast acronym up here.
Sure. So these are some acronyms that we put together to try to help people remember the symptoms of a stroke. These usually happen over minutes to maybe an hour of onset, so fairly quick onset of symptoms of balance or difficulty of ability to walk, loss of vision in one or both eyes. Some of the big ones that people know are drooping of one side of the face or weakness of an arm, especially when the face and the arm are together, weakness or numbness, difficulty speaking or slurred speech. And then the headache is more of a different type of stroke called an aneurysmal subarachnoid hemorrhage, but you have the instantaneous onset of basically the worst headache of your life.
So those are some things to be aware of. If you recognize any of these symptoms in yourself or recognize them in someone else, you want to be fast. You want to take action as quickly as possible. Now, you mentioned prior to this, once they get to Mobile Infirmary, you guys have some advanced care that you can do, and are there new treatments available?
Right. So whenever somebody hits the doors of the emergency department, it's basically like dominoes falling. They get evaluated very quickly with an examination, imaging, and then we make a treatment decision regarding medication like TPA, which is a blood thinner that's very strong that tries to break up any blood clot and restore blood flow to parts of the brain. And then we do further imaging to see if they're a candidate for another special type of procedure called a thrombectomy, where a specially trained doctor goes in through an artery in the thigh and goes up through the arteries of the chest, neck, into the brain, and actually pulls a blood clot out that would be blocking blood flow.
Are there any people out there who are more susceptible to having a stroke?
Sure. So there's a lot of risk factors for stroke would be things like high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, smoking. But I think one of the things we really don't appreciate in the South for sure is our diets. A healthy diet can be huge in preventing strokes for people.
All right, so lots of information coming at you this morning. Again, we wanted to raise awareness this morning. Dr. Pearl, thank you so much for stopping by. We appreciate it.
Thank you again.
And we'll put some more of these informational notes for you on fox10tv.com shortly after the program. Don't ignore the signs and symptoms, folks. Be fast.